Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. Today let's talk about solubility rules. So this is one of these annoying topics on MCAT as I'm not a fan of memorization or mnemonic device. I didn't even like to use any mnemonic for my anatomy classes, to be honest. But today I will use some cliche mnemonic in this video to make this all easier, hopefully. All right, let's dive into this. So what does it mean that something is soluble, right? What does solubility mean? So for example, if I have a molecule, NaCl, table salt, right? And then when I dump it in water, you know that it would dissociate into Na plus and Cl minus, the cation and anion, right? So we know that those ions would dissolve in water. So we say, oh, NaCl is a soluble molecule, okay? All right. So we're first going to talk about the ions that are going to make the molecule soluble and then the ones that are insoluble, okay? So the soluble ones, I have six groups, okay? So the first group is nitrate. It's a polyatomic anion, okay? It's NO3 minus, right? So if I combine it with some cation, let's say, for example, KNO3, right? And then they would dissociate into K plus and NO3 minus, right? This NO3 minus, it's a soluble anion, so that we say, oh, KNO3 has KNO3 in it, then it must be a soluble compound, right? When you dump it in water, it will go toward the product, okay? All right, so this is nitrate. And then the second group is acetate. So acetate is not an ion, but it carries a negative charge, okay? So that when it combined with some cation, it would also dissociate in water. All right. And then the third one is group 1 cation. Okay, so these are things here, like Na plus, K plus, right? Those are group 1 cation. If they are combined with some anion, then you know, oh, it's soluble, okay? So this makes the mnemonic NAG, okay? NAG, okay. All right, let's move on. Okay, so the fourth group I want to introduce you is sulfate. So sulfate is SO4 2 minus, okay? So it's another polyatomic ion. And then this thing has some exceptions that we're going to talk about later, okay? So let's first move on to ammonium. Ammonium is NH4 plus. Okay, so the last one is group 17 anion, okay? So this makes the mnemonic SAG, okay? Snag and sag, sag. Okay, so nag is all good. Okay, nag is all good. Nag has no exceptions. When you see the things when you see nag combines with other stuff, then you know it will be soluble. Okay, but sag has some problems. Okay, so let's first talk about the problem of this G, this group 17. So group 17 are here, as you see on my periodic table, right? There are chlorine, bromine, iodine, things like that. So when they combine with other cations, because they're anions, right? When they combine with other cations, they would dissociate, okay? Except the three elements that I highlighted in green here, okay? And then this is, the mnemonic is Castro Bear, okay? Because the Ca is just Ca, right? And then strontium is Sr, so Castro, and then Ba is Bear. So Castro Bear is the exception for the group 17 anions, okay? So let's say if you have like a CaBr2, something like that, right? Then would it, because Ca is from this, is one of the Castro Bear, and then Br is the group 17 anion. So if I have like CaBr2, then would it dissociate? No, it won't, right? But if I have like a KBr, right? K is group 1, and group 1 is nag. Nag has no exception. So you're good. It's soluble, okay? So that's a Castro Bear, all right? So then there's another problem with sag, okay? So with sag, not just group 17, this G is having some problem exceptions. This S, this sulfate is also having problems, okay? So its exception is Castro Bear as well as some other elements that I'm gonna circle for you, okay? Which is Ag, Hg, and Pb, okay? So this Ag, Hg, Pb, the mnemonic is the Pb is just P, okay? And then the Hg is mercury, right? So it's M. And then Ag is silver, so it's S. So the mnemonic for these pink exceptions are PMS. Okay, so sulfate has bigger problem. It has like 6 exceptions, right? Whereas the group 17 anion just have this Castro-Bear problem, all right? Exceptions, I mean. Okay, so this is NAG-SAC, okay? NAG is all good, okay? As long as you see NAG, hooray, you can just, oh, it's soluble, okay? But not the SAC, okay? And ammonium is fine, but not sulfate and group 17, okay? I hope the repetition helps. Okay, so now let's talk about the insoluble ones, okay? So the insoluble ones are when you see carbonate, it will be CO3 2 minus. When you see carbonate, it's not going to be soluble, okay? And then the exception for insoluble applies to all the ions I'm going to provide you. So we're going to talk about that in the end, okay? And then the second one is chromate. So this is a CrO4 2 minus, okay? And then the next one is a phosphate. Phosphate we know, PO4 3 minus, okay? And then the next one is just a sulfide, S2 minus, okay? And then the next one is a dioxygen. It's a O2 minus. And then lastly, it's a hydroxide. So it's OH minus, okay? So when you see these ions, most of the time they're insoluble, except when they're combined with NH4 plus ammonium and the group 1 cations, okay? So the exception applies to all of these, okay? And I didn't find a mnemonic online that would describe those insoluble ones, so I don't know, maybe like a CCPSOO. I'm thinking about, this CPSOO. I don't know. If you guys have some great idea, please leave a comment down to come up with this insoluble mnemonics. And then I hope this is all helpful.